Namaste. Hello friends. Welcome back to Hami Yoga. My name is Mi and today we will start a new series called Full Body Flexibility. The first class today I will have you stretch the glute muscle groups. And the glute group is not only the thickest muscle group on your body, it's very big, it has many layers and it goes really deep into your pelvis. This muscle group is directly connected to your lower back muscles, your sciatica and your hamstrings. In everyday's life, we tend to sit a lot on our chair or sitting on the sofa watching TV. So the glute muscle group on most people is often too long and too tight at the same time, which means it's too weak and too tight at the same time. So it's very necessary that we stretch this group out. And if you have some back pain or feel discomfortable on your hips area, stretching the glute muscles, like in the class we will do today, may release you from such pain. We will need a yoga mat. And what you need to do today is just to follow my guide and listen to the sensation that happen around your hips area when you do these stretches. Let's start at the front of your mat, standing on both of your feet in the mountain pose. Let's keep your feet pointing forward and then keep your spine in a neutral position. Maintain the natural curve on your spine. Bring your arms in front of your heart, or you can touch one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. Close your eyes. Spend about 5 breaths here. Inhale, become very long and tall. But as you exhale, maintain the same height of your body as you relax your face. Relax your shoulders. Try to make the next inhale longer and deeper than the previous one. And the exhale will become longer too. If you are touching your hands on your own chest and belly, you will feel them expanding as you inhale and collapsing, flattening as you exhale. And always keep your face calm, drop all the tension on your face muscles. Not only in this pose, but also in every other pose that we do today. Your face remain calm, however hard your body feels. And after the next breath, you can slowly open your eyes. Give yourself a big stretch as you inhale, arms over your head. And then stand up straight with your arms over your head. Stand with your left leg and bring your right leg up into a tree pose. You can keep your right foot as high as your leg can do without using your hands. And then keep your hips facing forward as you opening your right thigh bone to the right side. Should feel some stretch happening in your inner thigh. Look at a still point right in front of you, on the wall or on the floor. And stay here for 5 breaths. Think of your whole body like a mountain pose. Your hips remain unchanged. It's only your right leg that is trying to open it out. Every time you inhale, the tree grows taller. And every time you exhale, the tree's core becomes stronger. And after 5 breaths, let's bring your foot down parallel to the other foot. Inhale for chair pose. And exhale, bring your belly down and touch your thighs for forward bend. Let's bend each knee and straighten the other knee alternatively in forward bend. So that you slowly stretch your hamstring. Then you can keep both of your knees bent. Inhale, halfway up. And exhale, forward bend. Bring your right foot back a long step and bring the whole right foot down to the floor for warrior two position. Stand up and bring your arms to your side. Now keep opening your front thigh bone out. Inhale. And maybe if you feel stable in this pose, you can make it longer so that your hips become almost as low as your knee. One inhale and exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, bring your arms toward your side, warrior two. And then interlace your fingers behind you, squeezing your palms together. Let's turn your chest forward. Inhale, lift your hands up as far away as your hips as you can. And exhale with forward bend. Touch your shoulders toward your knee. Point your hands up toward the sky. Move your shoulders up really high and far away from your ears. And start feeling the stretch we are making on your front legs, hips. One more breath. Inhale and exhale. Release your hands. Now let's place the front foot toward the left side. You can raise your back heel up. Place both hands down to the floor. And then inhale, sink your hips down very low. Raise your chest up without touching the back knee to the ground. Lizard pose. And as you exhale, let's push the floor away from you. Bring your hips up high into a kind of pyramid pose. My favorite stretch. Move between these for 5 breaths. Inhale, hips go down low but don't touch your knee. Your knee try to lift from the floor. And exhale, pyramid pose. You don't have to straighten both of your legs in pyramid, but try to make the stretch happen as much as you can. 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. It's very simple. And you may not feel so flexible now, but trust me, if you do this every day, you will feel difference within days. Eventually, let's bring your knee down to the floor. Bring the whole back foot down to the floor for a lizard pose. Now you can point the front foot out a little bit so that the thigh bone is pointing diagonally out. Stay here into the lizard pose. Keep your hands on the floor and keep your hips really low. If after a while you think you can do deeper, you can move your back knee further behind you. Focus on your hips right now. As you inhale, raise your chest up. And as you exhale, allow your hips to sink deeper down toward the floor. For 1 more breath. It's okay if your front foot starts lifting from the floor. It's fine. And after the last breath, we move back, straightening your front knee into some kind of half split. You can do this a few times so that you gain even more flexibility and also bring a good feeling, a comfortable feeling into your front foot. Eventually we go back to the lizard pose. And this time, keep your right hand on the floor. Bring your left hand up to the sky as you inhale. And exhale, reaching your left hand to the back side of your mat. You can just stay here for the twist, or you can bend your back knee and try to touch your hand into your foot. So it could feel quite hard. If you are new, you may bring some blanket underneath your knee so that it's easier for your knee to fold. So if you can hold your foot, stay here. Otherwise, just keep your legs straight on the floor. Stay with me for 3 more breaths only. This feels very much. If you feel really uncomfortable, you can get out of the pose before I do. But come back to this class and the second time you will already feel more flexible than the first time. Let's slowly get out of here. Tuck your back toes on the floor, lift your back knee up and step your front foot back for a plank pose. Inhale, make the plank long. And exhale, bring your knees down and the whole body down to the floor. Inhale for cobra pose. And exhale, tuck your toes, lift your whole body into downward facing dog. Let's walk your heels on and off the floor in down dog. And then inhale, bring your right leg up toward the sky. Exhale, touch your right knee toward your face, become very rounded. Go forward so much that you can step your right foot into your right hand. Let's bring the whole back knee down to the floor for low lunge. Inhale, bring your arms over your head. Then exhale, hands in front of your heart. Let's twist toward the right side. And try to hook your left arm outside of your right thigh. Maybe you can even use your own hand to help your body to bring your knee higher toward your shoulders. This is a twist and it's also head stretching the outer hips of your right hip. So inhale, raise your heart forward, raise your head forward, and exhale, let's twist. Focus on the feeling at the outer edge of your hips. For one more breath. And then slowly get out of here. Inhale, bring your arms over your head. And exhale, bring your hands down to the floor. Let's bring the whole front leg down to the ground into a pigeon pose. And before you sit down, make sure that the thigh bone is pointing out diagonally. And slowly bring your hips back and down toward the floor. It's completely normal if your hips is not on the floor. And then lay down. This is a very nice stretch for your glute. A stretch so deep into the deepest layers of your glute. A very good pose to release sciatica pain. Relax your head. You can stack your arms and rest your head on top, or you can just keep your head hovering off the floor. We stay here for about 5 long breaths, or even longer. It feels really nice in this pigeon pose. And then slowly get out of pigeon pose. Bring your hands down to the floor. So here I want you to press your front thigh bone down and out. It really okay if your hips are not on the floor and your whole back leg pushing down to the floor, even the pinky toes. See if you can walk your hands closer and maybe you can bring one arm, whichever arm, off the floor, reaching behind you. Feel how your body is fighting against gravity and really want to fly up. Maybe you can bring your other arms up too. Take a deep inhale in this active pigeon pose. And then exhale, bring your hands down to the floor. Let's bring the front foot outside of your right hand. And do some movement like we did before. Between inhale, lizard pose, hips deep down to the ground. You can keep your knees on the floor. And exhale, move back into half split. For one more time. And then keep your front knee bent. You can bring your back knee a bit closer. It doesn't have to be a stretchy lizard pose. Keep your front foot on the floor. And see if you can bring your left elbows down to the ground. You can hold your left hand to your right ankle. And your right arm underneath your knee. Actually, both hands can be holding your ankle. Relax your head. Think of how your head wants to touch the floor. And this pose is a very good stretch for your lower back and the glute muscles that connect your lower back. Stay here for 5 long breaths. Imagine you want to bring your head behind your heel. It will not happen today or any coming days, but that's the direction we are heading to. And while we do the pose, however far away your head is to the ground onto your own leg, it really doesn't matter. What matters the most is that you are stretching, releasing tension on your low back. And after 5 breaths, let's slowly get out of here. Keep your front foot outside of your right hand and bring your back foot outside of your left hand into a sumo squat. You can point your toes out, make your feet look like a little V position. Keep your hips as high as your knee, open your knees out. Don't let your knee collapse. Feel your back, make sure that it's flat. And then bring your arms over your head. Look down to the floor. Feel your biceps right next to your ear. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, tuck your belly up, really strong everywhere. One more breath, inhale. And then we stand up, bring your arms over your head. Exhale, bring your hands in front of your heart or along your body. You can point your toes forward. Stay here in a wide leg, mountain pose. Close your eyes. Take 3 long breaths here to calm down before we move on to the other side. And then let's bring your feet to be mountain pose again. Inhale, give yourself a big stretch. Exhale, keep your hands holding together, straighten your body, no more back bend. And then stand only on your right leg and bring your left leg up. Touch your left foot as high as you can into the inner side of your right leg without using your arm to help your leg. Keep the whole body like in a mountain pose, but only your left leg is in the external rotation. So opening your left thigh bone to the side until you start feeling some kind of stretch on your inner thigh. Look at your focus point and stay here for 5 breaths. Inhale, feel the tree growing up. And exhale. And after 5 breaths, let's bring your foot down parallel to the other foot. Inhale for chair pose. Exhale, bring your belly down to your thigh, forward bend. Inhale for halfway up. Exhale, forward bend. Step your left foot back a long step and open the whole left foot pointing to the left side. Now your legs are in warrior 2 position as you stand up and bring your arms to your side. Keep your front thigh bone opening out, and when you get used to warrior 2, let's make the pose longer so that your hips can go lower until your hips will be almost as low as your front knee. Take a deep inhale and exhale, reverse the warrior. Stay here for 1 more breath. Feel the stretch happening on your right side. And then inhale, arms to your side, warrior 2. Let's interlace your fingers behind you and turn your chest to face forward. Touch your palms together too, not only your fingers. Inhale, lifting your hands away from your body. And exhale, forward bend. Try to touch your shoulders down to your knee. And don't worry if you cannot touch your shoulder on your knee yet. It will come. Stay wherever you are, relax your head. Think of how your arms want to go up toward the sky, but your head want to go down to the floor. So you have very long neck. And also you start stretching the back side of your right body. 1 more breath, inhale, lifting your hands up as high as you can. And exhale, you can release your hands. Place your hand down to the floor. You can move your front foot to the right side of your mat. Raise your back knee up. We move 5 times between the lizard pose. Inhale, sink your hips down really low. but don't touch your knee to the floor. Lift your knee up. And exhale, push the floor away, straightening your front leg, forward bending yourself into a kind of pyramid pose. 4 more times like that. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. If you don't have time for a full yoga class, you can do this every day, like 10 times on each side. I forgot how many times I'm on, but I will do 1 more round. And then pyramid pose. And then we will stay in a lizard pose. Bring your back knee down to the floor. You can point your front foot out slightly, and the purpose here is to keep your ankle stable. So you can look at your own ankle and make sure the skin is flat, it's not wrinkled. That means you are not folding or twisting at your ankle. Let's stay here for 5 breaths, and always think of bringing your hips down toward the floor. So inhale, lift your chest up, and exhale, keep your front thigh bone falling out and your hips sinking down toward the ground. Get into the sensation that is happening on your hips, especially the right hip, right now. And after the 5 breaths, before we do the twist, let's move between half split and lizard pose for a few times so that you will not feel too overwhelming on your hips. Eventually we go back to the lizard pose, and this time you can put your left hand on the floor. Inhale, bring your right hand up toward the sky, and exhale, reaching your right hand behind you. You can just stay here, or you can try to bend your back knee, and maybe you can hold your hand to your back ankle. Stay where you are, stretching you not only at the glute muscle group of your right leg, but also the quad group, the front thigh of your left. If it's too intense for you, you can get out of the pose earlier than me. Otherwise, stay with me for only 2 more breaths. And then you can slowly release your foot. Bring your hand back and down to the ground. Lift your back knee off the floor and step your front foot back for plank pose. Inhale into plank pose. And exhale, bring your knees down through half chaturanga. Lay on the floor. Inhale, cobra pose. And exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. You can walk your heels on and off the floor in down dog. And then inhale, bring your left leg up toward the sky. Exhale, touch your knee toward your nose. Move forward so much that you can step your left foot toward your left hand. Do 1 more step, or use your hand to help you if you are not there yet. Bring your whole back knee down to the floor for a low lunge stretch. Make sure your knee will be somewhere right on the top of your ankle. Inhale, arms over your head. And exhale, hands in front of your heart. Open your elbows out. Let's twist to the side. And then hook your arm outside of your thigh. You can use your own hand to push yourself a bit more, so that the knee go higher toward your shoulders. Now let's feel it's happening, the stretch on the outer side of your left hips. And then do a big twist for about 3 to 5 breaths here. Push your knee into your arm so that you feel this sensation of stretch even more. Slowly get out of here. Place your hands on the floor and bring the whole front shin bone down to the ground into a pigeon pose. Make sure that your thigh bone is pointing out like a diagonal line, so that when you place your elbows down, your elbows, both of them, will be on the right side to the knee. Move your hips back and down as deep as you can, but it's okay if your hips are not on the floor. Mine are not neither. Bring your elbows down into a laying, resting pigeon pose. Then you can relax your head. Stay here for 5 to 10 breaths. I really like this pose, so if you really like it too, you can even pause the video and stay for however long you want. And while we are here, you can feel the whole glute muscle stretching. Maybe you can notice a difference between your left and right. And stay longer on the side that make you feel tighter. Then let's slowly get out of this pose, hands on the floor, and step your front foot toward your left hand, outside your left hand position. Make some movement between lizard pose and half split. Let's increase the blood circulation around your legs and hips area. Very good to nourish the muscles, bones and joints. And then we stay with your front knee right on the top of your front ankle. You can bring your back knee a bit closer, so it don't have to be a stretch here. Now see if you can bring your right elbow down to the floor, and maybe you can use your right hand to hold your ankle, left ankle. Otherwise, it doesn't matter, it can be anywhere. And sneak your left arm underneath your left knee. Relax your head. Think of how your head want to touch the floor, or your head want to touch your left heel. Anyway, just stay where you are, where you feel the deepest stretch on your glute and on your lower back. Stay for about 5 breaths. So before, when we did the lizard pose, we want to bring the hips down toward the floor. But now the hips can be as high as your knee, but your head is reaching down to the ground to find yourself a flexion on your spine, and it helps stretching the muscles along your spine, especially the lower back and where it's connected to your glute group. Listen and try to understand the sensation that is happening on your body now. Where you feel tightness, where you feel the limit. Understanding yourself so that we can get over the tightness and the limitation. And after the next breath, let's place your hands down to the floor. Now you can point your front foot slightly out and make your back foot outside your right hand, kind of the same position. Keep your hips as high as your knees. Inhale, halfway up. And then you don't need your arms on the floor anymore. Keep them along your ears. And eventually we stand up. Inhale, arms over your head. And exhale, hands in front of your heart. Or bring your arms along your body. Let's bring your feet back to the mountain pose. Stay here for a few breaths. And we are done with the yoga class for today. How do you feel on your hips? And don't be discouraged if you don't feel flexible at all for today. Because that's why we do yoga. That's why we do this series, Full Body Flexibility. I hope you will do more yoga, like a few days per week. And trust me, if you do that, you will see results within weeks. So thank you very much for doing this class with me. And don't forget to subscribe and keep in touch so that we can do other classes. I will see you in the next videos. Thanks for watching and goodbye.